Hello and welcome everyone. So I'm going to do another video here on protein, actually an updated one from some of the other ones I've done in the past, really to pinpoint and let everyone understand that is either just coming to this channel or has been watching my videos and maybe just overlooked those particular videos. This one's going to be much more detailed and give you a lot more information. So basically, everyone out there, and if you're watching TV or wherever you're at and you hear the word proteins in this, proteins in that, people think they need an exorbitant amount of this and that's going to help their health. And in reality, it's not going to do anything to help their health. And I'm going to explain why here in a moment. What people need is to flush out their toxins, get their kidneys filtering properly. Functioning and filtering are completely different. I'll leave a few links for some of these videos I'm going to mention in this video below this video in the About section. All you got to do is click right below this video. You'll see in the About section this information. So with that said, if your kidneys aren't filtering out the toxins and you are just living your normal life, consuming tons of protein, tons of acid-based foods, because you think that's going to be the best way not only to build muscle, to look better, and to live longer, I hate to break it to you, it's not. And if you don't believe me, just look at the cancer rates and look at everything that's out there, and sure, a lot of that has to do with processed foods and other things. So again, the whole point to this video is I'm going to really go more into detail. So 2 minutes in, hopefully you'll watch the entire video so this way you understand. I don't make any money on these views, so if you don't watch it, it's up to you. Not my issue, because I'm the one explaining this and I didn't learn this information online. I'm just using this to explain to you and use it as a tool versus people just talking on videos, which I've done in the past, and then people say, well, I don't understand, you're just talking. So the point is, this is a better educational tool to do it this way. So with that said, all foods made from meat, poultry, seafood, beans, peas, etc. are going to be classified, quote unquote, in the protein foods group. So people clicking on the internet that know nothing about health, and I would say more than, it's hard to pinpoint a number, but let's just say the vast majority of the population in the US or in the world has no clue how anything works. They don't know anything about health at all. Zero. They only know what someone's telling them, and that's the road that they're going to take, or articles they read, so they don't know the facts. So the whole point to this is, again, to let you know the facts so you can understand, because it is very confusing out there if you don't know. But once you start following what I'm showing you, everything just clears up and you see the light at the end of the tunnel. It gets easier. And that's the whole point. So there's protein in every food, and that's why I'm trying to really explain this as thoroughly as possible. It's not about animal products and all of this. These are not the foods that people should be consuming. And not saying you can't eat those at all in your life, but if you base your whole structure of the foods you're consuming off of these foods, then you're going to have problems. So here, this is going to give you other information. I just typed in food amino acids, and Google works off of keywords. They throw in the articles, rank the top based on many factors, so it doesn't mean that the ones that come up are going to be the most accurate and the best ones. It just means those are the ones that are coming up in those in the search results at the top. So it doesn't mean anything. So that's really why a lot of people get confused. And there's plenty of things that have protein. Pretty much everything does. And when it comes to fruits, avocados, figs, I used to eat a lot of avocados, but I will tell you that they do not harm the detox process. Pretty much every other food on here will. Leafy greens would be number 3 behind herbs. Avocado is a fruit. Figs are amazing when they're fresh, not dried. A small amount of raisins is okay. Again, a lot of those are heavily processed. They come in packages, and they're dried. You definitely don't want to eat those. So keep that in mind. All wheat grains stop the detox process. Same thing with meats, and actually grains reverse it. So do meats. So if you go on a grain and meat diet, you're going to have a lot of problems coming up in the future. So again, I'm just really thoroughly explaining all of this, but there are foods that will surpass meat. I don't recommend eating a ton of these foods. A little spirulina is okay. Watercress is okay, but it's really not necessary. This is just an example just to show you this. Okay, so let's go to the next point here. So if you eat foods with an acidic ash, and I have explained this for several years now at least, and the whole point of this is to really refresh people's memories, or just really let everyone know again that this is a very, very important point. So if you eat a lot of meat in your diet, are you going to be able, let's say you ate 100% meat, that's all you ate, right? And there's a big trend of that happening out there, whether it's raw or cooked. Of course, cooked is going to be worse, and I'm not condoning eating raw, but when you cook meat, you're going to get even more acidity, and you're going to get more of this ash. So you're going to get problems sooner. However, you run the risk, raw meat, of parasites, because you're eating dead flesh from an animal, and you're going to get all sorts of issues that may not show any signs for years. Parasites are geniuses. They've been around a lot longer than us. They'll host in your body. They'll reproduce. You keep eating it. They get bigger and stronger. And their whole goal is to, like I said, do their job once they're inside of your body. So you really don't want to go down that road. The more acidic your body is, the more of those problems you're going to get. It may take a while. I want to be honest. Sometimes it could take years. It could take a decade for someone. It could take 2 decades. It could take 3 decades. It really depends on the person's overall health of their lymphatic system when they start going on these kind of ways that are not normal for the body. So it's going to take time. Now, again, if you ate meat a few times a month and you're not detoxing, or if you are detoxing, just realize it's going to stop the detox process right away. None of these things are really going to be that big of a deal. But if it's every single day, every single meal, you're going to have a big, big problem eventually. And the alkaline and acidity is not a myth. Blood pH does regulate itself to a point in time between 7.35 and 7.45. And the reason I say that is, you see all these people with all these quote-unquote health conditions. These are all a result of people's bodies that are acidic. Arthritis, all of these things. And you might be thinking, why hear all these people, they go on all meat diets and they get rid of their arthritis? No, they didn't. They're just not. Number one, they're not detoxing. Sometimes the meat can stop these symptoms for a temporary period of time. Then they're just going to all start really coming out of the woodwork, and they're going to get far worse. That's what happens. And I can tell you this not only from experience, and also that when you get to this acidity level and you continue to throw acid on acid, you're going to go in that big downward spiral. And when you're in regeneration mode, good luck getting out of it, because the only way to get out of it is with fruits and herbs. If you don't do that, you're done. Done. There is going to be no more life left in you. And when your skin starts looking really bad, really old, really dry, and you don't have life in you, just by looking at someone, it's very easy to tell, you already got problems. It's just a matter of time. And I really want to educate people so they understand this. And this is very, very important information. So people might think, well, James, what about alcohol? Sure, the grapes are awesome before they make the alcohol. But look at this. All wines pretty much lie on the acidic side. Whether they do or not, look at the range. 2.5 to 4.5. 7 is neutral. Look at how low that is. So if you're eating meat and you're drinking alcohol, you're going to have even more problems. So you're just going to increase the time of how long this is going to take to really start causing a lot of problems. So you might be thinking, alright, so what are some proteins? And this is not everything. This is just kind of giving you information. Again, they're in every food, but you know, they talk about Brazil nut. You don't want it. Humans don't need nuts. They stop the detox process. They have a hard shell for a reason. Avoid it. You don't need it. So, a peach. I usually throw this in many times, sometimes even once a day, but many times per week because they change up my fruits. I do figs every day. That I do, and they're fresh. But look at this. It's quality. So I'm showing you the quality of the protein. Doesn't mean that the other foods don't have it. Berries should be on here. I don't know why. But again, you know, they've got strawberries down here at the bottom. But pretty much any fruit is going to work. But if you really want to try to duplicate some of the things that people are getting from dead animal flesh, you're going to get more if you're doing it from fruit. Because it's living, you're going to absorb more of those nutrients because you got the vitamin C, you have all the nutrients in there, which I'll show you in a moment. Avocados you can even do. I used to eat 6 avocados a day. So avocados are fantastic. Even though that's a fat, that fat does not cause inflammation. I repeat, does not cause inflammation. It's not possible. However, if you're eating excessive fat, you may notice a very thin hair coming out of your forehead, and that, in Chinese medicine, I've talked about this in the New Age Health Guide, the diagnosis of that is all accurate, because every time I eat a number of avocados, that will eventually happen, because you have too much fat. That doesn't mean the fat from an avocado is actually harming you, but your body is letting you know that you have too much fat, and it's giving you the signs. There's other signs too, but that's just a basic example. It's that thin little hair that comes, you know, above the eyebrow, maybe, you know, an inch or so away, kind of on the sides of where your temples are. It could come on either side or both sides, right or left. So just keep that in mind. If you're eating regular fruits, water-rich fruits, some of the videos you've seen I posted recently that I'm doing, they give me the highest performance and the utmost amount of energy. That's why I went to that level. Now, I'm not saying that dates are bad. They are dried, and dates and bananas can serve a purpose, but you don't want to consume that, and that's all you consume every day. Can you consume them? Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just want to look for dates that really have an expiration date. They're not sitting out for a while. Some places have them where they expire in a week because they're really fresh. Maybe they expire in 2 weeks, but you know, some of those ones that they expire in 6 months, and really, unless you're getting them when they put that package on the shelf within the first 30 days or even first few weeks, they're really diminishing in their antioxidant quality. So again, it's a dried fruit. You don't really need it. The fresh are much better, but you can incorporate dates and you can incorporate some bananas. Some days I do 0 bananas. You don't. They just need to be ripe. You don't need them though. But again, they are cheap, and to stay on 100% raw diet, if you need to eat 2 or 3 of them, I'd rather see someone do that than try to incorporate other foods and not continue and move forward with the detox process. Okay, so now that we've gotten that taken care of, let's go ahead and show you raspberries. I've shown in one of my other previous videos about blackberries and all the amino acids. You're going to get everything. You're going to get the fatty acids. You're going to get everything. You're going to get all the nutrients. It's even got a small amount of selenium. And this is only 1 cup, folks. So berries really are the most perfect food and the most essential food for the human body. That's also why they're probably one of the priciest fruits, and that's just the way it is. There's nothing anybody can do about that for the size of and the amount that you get. But berries are going to be very, very essential, not only in pulling acids out of your body, but containing the protein and amino acids. This is why I do a number of them, especially blackberries. I do a lot of raspberries. I do a small amount of blueberries, but they're just equally as good. You can buy a big package of blueberries pretty much anywhere. Just make sure they're organic. Always look to see on the bottom if there's any white coming out of it through the little very bottom part in the middle, then it's moldy. You don't want to buy those. If it's clean, it's just, you know, regular color, then you're good to go. And you know, I'm talking about when you flip open the package or you flip it over, you can see through the plastic, and you see any white in the middle of the blueberry, and you see a number of them, you definitely don't want to buy. If you see one, there's usually going to be many others. That means that they have started to spoil, and they are spoiling, so you don't want those. They should be hard, firm. Same thing with blackberries. They shouldn't be mushy. They shouldn't be all messed up and soft. Those are not high quality. Avoid those and look for the higher quality. And sometimes, especially when it comes to the winter season, non-organic berries, because they're not in season, will usually be better than organic a lot of times. And for me to stay on this, I will go to that route. But summertime, you can get organic all day long. It's in season. You're going to get very ripe fruit. If you go to local health food stores or even chain grocery stores such as Whole Foods, usually busier locations will get shipments daily, and you'll get really high quality fruit on a daily basis. So, hope with this information everyone can understand that protein is not necessary from animal products unless you want that acid ash and you don't want to detox. You'll get far more from living fruits and living foods, and you'll be able to move forward, and you'll be able to still gain muscle and do all the things that anyone else can do on meat, but you'll have much more energy as time goes on. You get through the detox process. The first 30 days is the hardest detoxing, first week for most people. Take care. Thank you so much.